Hey guys, it's Rush. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This video today, I want to present to you the Victrix Pro BFG Reloaded wireless module controller. A little bit of a mouthful. So you may have seen this controller before, the old Victrix Pro BFG controller, but this is a new version. And the main two things that differ from this version to the old version is the fightpad module. You'll notice the buttons sit higher up, which is a really nice change they made. And also with this model, it comes with Hall effect analog sticks. Now, I've never covered this controller on the channel before. I've actually owned a Victrix previously. I bought one and used it for a little while, and I wasn't very keen on it. The main reason why I didn't like it was because of the 6-button module placements. They were placed much lower down. I'll show you a picture of that now on the old one that I had. And also there were some limitations with the button mappings on the controller as well, I found. So those are the two reasons why I didn't like the controller, and I actually returned it. But this is a brand new version, so I'll cover the controller in detail in this video, and I'll also go over some of the bits that you get with this, because you get a lot of parts that you can swap out with this controller. So the old and new BFG Victrix controllers are considered to be premium controllers. It comes with a carry case, which is very nice. This is the standard module. This replaces the fightpad module. This will enable you to have 2 analog sticks to use for your normal games, non-fighting games. Comes with a little screwdriver. You use that to unscrew the modules. The screw holes there, here and there. It also comes with 2 analog stick octa gates. You can just pop them out and change. From memory, I remember them being quite difficult to pull out. Felt like I was going to break them when I did that last time, but they're very cool additions. You also get 2 different analog sticks. This is a short, more stubby one that has a rounded top to it. This is a longer stick, which has a target style grip on the top. 2 replacement D-pad modules. You have a circular D-pad and a cross-shaped D-pad. 3-meter braided USB Type-C cable. And last but by no means least, you get a wireless adapter. I understand that the wireless range on this is up to 30 feet. This is the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 version, but there is an Xbox version available. Other features on the pad, it has a 3.5mm jack. As I mentioned, it has wireless functionality. On the rear, it has 4 paddles. You can shorten the shift of the rear trigger / shoulder buttons. You just flick those and it changes. I can't actually remember how to change it back, but for fighting games, that's fine for me. I don't want the long throw on the controller. Because it's a PS5 pad, has the touchpad as well. It's a great shape. It's got a lot of surface area. The build quality is really good. I like the design of it as well. I do like the way that the plastics and the rubbers are integrated. It's very chunky, big, fat shoulder buttons. It's very, very nice. You can pop the analog stick heads off and they can be replaced. Takes a bit of force, but that's how you replace them. The D-pad works in a similar fashion. You pop it out. To be very careful. And then you slot the new one on top, press it in. That's what it looks like when you pop it out entirely. So, and then as mentioned, to replace the modules on either side, you use a screwdriver to unscrew the modules and replace. You do have to be a little bit careful. You can scratch the face of the controller and even the screw that you're screwing into if you're not very careful. So take care when you're changing out the modules. The buttons on the stock right module are not switches. They use membranes. They are curved and they have a gloss finish to them. They're a little smaller than the fightpad buttons. The fightpad buttons are flat. They are bigger. They have a gloss finish, but they're very, very flat. And they do use micro switches. So for me, the fact that they've moved the buttons higher up enables me to have a much better grip of the controller. The D-pad position is perfectly fine. It has a nice slant on the edges of the controller. The D-pad's nice and high up, so it feels perfect for me. My thumb sits perfectly in place over that D-pad. And my right thumb now, I have better positioning of the 6 face buttons. Because the buttons on the old version were shifted down so much, sometimes when I was pressing the R1 and R2 face buttons, to me it felt like I was actually pressing the triangle and circle. Again, because that was so far down, it felt like these were the middle row, not the outer row. And that's what caused confusion on the old controller for me. It has a lot of weight to it. It weighs 265 grams. Okay, so let's connect this controller up and let's do some configuration before then testing it in Street Fighter 6. When connecting the controller to your PC for the Victrix Control Hub, make sure you've got the toggle set to PC, and on the rear, you should be using the wired mode, not wireless. So make sure you do that before connecting. You can see that on the screen at the moment, there is an error message, could not connect, could be a driver conflict, could be other software installed that's an issue. There were 2 things that were causing this issue for me, and the 2 things I've done to fix the issue are this. On your PC, if you navigate to Windows and then the System32 folder, and if you search for HID USB, and you should see 2 files with that name. You can see there, HID USB.sys, there's 2 files. If you see a HID USB-F file, you will need to delete that. That file will have been created if you ever try to overclock a controller. It's like a modified version of the HIUSB file. So you will have to delete that. As you can see here, I no longer have that file, so I deleted it. That's the first step. The second step is to go to the device manager, and you'll see at the very bottom Xbox 360 peripherals. Open that up and you'll see Xbox 360 controller. That is the Victrix. So if you right click on that and do uninstall device, do this, and it will then ask you to restart your PC. Once you get that prompt, restart the computer. So with the PC rebooted, you can see the controller is disconnected. Let's load up the Victrix Control Hub app first. Let's wait for it to load. And once it's loaded up, we will then connect the controller, because sometimes connecting the controller before you open the app can cause issues also. So that's booted up. Let's connect the controller. And there we go. We are logged in. Let me just move that game link bar. That's something that I've uninstalled. It keeps prompting me to use it. Anyways, so we're in the app, and here you have all your customization options. So go into configure. You can configure the face buttons. You can also set what you want L1, R1 to be. All the buttons are remappable, which is awesome. So to do that, you go to the original button option here, choose the button you want to change. So I'll go to fightpad R1, which is the R1 on the face of the pad. And then you then select what you want it to be. So that is set to left thumbstick. Fightpad R2 is set to right thumbstick. You can see that there in the illustration. Back paddles is 4 back paddles. I've disabled 3 of them, but the top right back paddle, you can see I've got it set to up as a jump on the controller. So you can map them to be whatever you want them to be. You just need to click on it and press the button that you want it to be. If you want to disable it, you just press triangle and it will remove it as a selection. Analog sticks, you can configure the dead zones. You can swap the sticks round, invert them, set the sensitivity, pretty basic stuff, but you have customizability of the analog sticks. Triggers, so triggers this is where you set the sensitivity. I've upped the sensitivity to 3. This is also where you map the triggers. So if you want left trigger and right trigger to be different buttons, this is where you do it, but I've not changed them from stock settings. Mirror dead zone just ensures that both sides are configured the same. If you undo that, then you can set separate sensitivity for each of the triggers. And then audio options, you have the actual pad audio, you have the mic audio, and you have mic monitoring, which I'm not sure what that is, but I don't use audio settings at all on the pad, so I've disabled all settings here. So let's hop into Street Fighter 6 and give the controller a try. So holding the controller in my hands whilst playing Street Fighter 6, it feels amazing. The shape of the controller the design, just the quality of the pad. You can really feel it in your hands. The shapes of the handles left and right are perfect, and the angle on the sides is great. I have a nice slope to it, meaning my thumbs are positioned right over the D-pad and right over those core face buttons. With the shoulders and triggers, you'll notice my index fingers sit over the shoulders and triggers, which to me is fine. And this highlights a very specific point, which I'll talk about in a second. But getting to them, pressing them, feels great. You have like a nice little click when you press the shoulder buttons and the triggers. They're very, I say they're sensitive. Even if you have the sensitivity set to low, they are quite sensitive. I barely have to press it to register the input, which is interesting. I don't have to go flat down to get my inputs. But for fighting games, it feels great. I've not actually restricted the travel for Street Fighter 6. I feel it feels great tapping the whole trigger for your inputs. So I mentioned about the way my index fingers sit over the buttons. Now, I've never noticed this until now, but if I compare this to the Hori Fighting Commander, you can see that my index fingers sat over the shoulder buttons on this pad also. So to press these shoulder buttons, I had to bring them outwards and then tap. Now, this is very interesting because if you compare it to the Hori Octa Pro, which is my current fight pad, my fingers sit directly on the shoulder buttons, which I don't think is an issue, but the amount of times I accidentally press, particularly the rear ones, the L2 and R2 buttons, it's very annoying. It's because they sit directly on them. And if you follow my channel for a while, you'll know what I've done to this pad. I've actually sanded the rear shoulder buttons down, that one significantly, this one a little bit. But yeah, I do feel that is not my preferred choice. It is a me thing, but I don't like that my fingers sit on there and it's so easy to accidentally press. So going back to the Victrix, I feel like from an ergonomic standpoint, they've hit the nail on the head with everything. In terms of the placement of the buttons, these buttons being shifted upwards now, much better design choice, but the controller just feels great. It's a great shape, great textures, feels quality. The biggest star of the show is the D-pad. The D-pad, the response on it, the feel of it, the way the motion inputs come out, feels perfect. It's really nice. I use the circular D-pad, but it feels really nice doing my motion inputs. The response feels great. It's not clicky, but it's very snappy. It's snappy enough. It's got like a bit of a, how to explain it? It's snappy, but soft, if that makes sense. But it feels really good for getting quick and clean inputs. And the up, down, left, right, there's not a massive dip with the D-pad when it comes to diagonals. So you can feel when your finger is on the up, down, left, right, or the diagonals. And what this means is that your inputs are very snappy. They're very clean. That's the only way I can really explain it. They feel very clean. I've got confidence where my thumb is. And my motion inputs, when done very quickly, like super, for example, it seems to always come out. I never have an issue where I sort of feel I did input something in this situation, but it didn't come out. You can see everything I'm doing comes out straight away and it feels good. I don't feel like I have to overcompensate for any of the inputs, any of the special inputs. It just feels good. So combine the D-pad with the lovely feeling buttons. I just have so much confidence in this controller. It feels exceptional. I don't want to gas it up too much because I need to try it more, but so far, so good. And as mentioned earlier, I have one of the paddles set to jump. So the upright paddle is set to jump. Accessing the paddles, particularly the right two paddles, is perfectly fine. My middle finger sits on the upper paddle and my ring finger sits on the lower paddle, and they sit naturally there. I don't have to like try and find them, feel around and be like, okay, I think that's this paddle. Let me try and press it. They naturally sit over the paddles. I'm very excited to test this 6-button controller in more detail. It's got so many good features, the customizability, the layout and design, the D-pad is exceptional. The fact that you can change the module for it to be a regular style controller as well is amazing. So let's see, I will test it on Street Fighter 6 and City of the Wolves in the next few weeks, and I'll come back to you guys with a final verdict of this pad. I feel confident. I feel happy. Let's see how things go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any question, any queries, always give me a shout. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.